talk to the Public Power Hour. Just again, as we repeat every month, we don't make any decisions here. We're not voting on anything. You only see our council. There are no other administration, any directors here. This is really just an opportunity for us to listen and for folks to share whatever that may look like to us. I will say there's about 5 or 6 citizens in the audience, so don't know if any of them are wanting to speak to us, but I'm going to go ahead at this point and ask, I'm assuming Bill or Amy, Amy, come on up. If you would, state your name and who you're with, if you would, and then we're going to turn it over to you.
I'm Amy Hanna, Executive Director with Aiken Senior Life Services. So what I want to accomplish tonight is just give you a very brief overview of our agency and some powerful information about the work that we're doing here in North Augusta. We're going to kick it off with a video of Mayor Williams speaking about our Meals on Wheels program.
Hey, North Augusta, I'm Mayor Britton Williams. Jenny Lynn and I are big supporters of Meals on Wheels. I delivered meals for 17 years. She delivered for 6. And I would tell you, when you provide a meal to someone to deliver it, you're giving that person a chance to connect with a senior, to listen, to talk, to communicate. Because quite frankly, for a lot of our seniors, that will be the only communication they will have with a human that entire day. And unfortunately, 2 times in the last 6 months, there has been a shortage of government funding that has literally put 22,000 meals at risk for North Augusta. So that's why I am so proud of the Aiken Senior Life Services for starting their All Hands on Deck campaign. This is going to be an opportunity for us to put money into a reserve, so if there's ever a risk in the future, we don't have to worry about our seniors not being fed. Remember, North Augusta, we are North Augusta strong, and let's prove that to our seniors. Thanks, and God bless you.
And I have to say, I think that Mayor Williams was very succinct and really expressed the message that I want to convey to you tonight. So let's start with our first slide, please. Okay. Just to give you just brief background, we are the second oldest nonprofit in Aiken County. We've been performing Meals on Wheels for all of Aiken County since 1971. Next slide. So Meals on Wheels, it is more than just a meal. This is a wellness check that volunteers provide on each of the seniors. What I want you to know, members of City Council, tonight is that in North Augusta, in 2024, we delivered over 36,000 meals to seniors here. That's the equivalent of about $360,000. This is Monday through Friday. This is a hot meal that we're delivering. And we have 8 routes here. This is even more than over in Aiken. The other thing you need to know is that if you're ambulatory, you can come to one of our 5 dining rooms. We have a dining room at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church right on Carolina Avenue. Next slide. Interesting bar chart that I think really kind of dramatically shows you the funding. Funding is ample going back to our fiscal year that started July 1 of last year. Wherever you see a blue bar, it indicates funding, but without funding, if there's no blue bar, that meant we had no funding. So the first 6 months of last year's fiscal year was robust. Going forward into 2025, we ran out of funds in February. And so through the CSRA Community Foundation, we were able to be awarded a grant for $150,000 that allowed us to keep Meals on Wheels rolling. And then, of course, we set up a GoFundMe page in April. In June, we did an Adopt a Senior program. For $50, you can feed a senior a hot meal for an entire week and so forth. And then again, in September, out of funds, this is when we brought Senator Tom Young into the picture. and he enlisted the Aiken County Legislative Delegation to shake the trees up in Columbia. So that is how we survived, and that's quite a story to tell. Next slide. What's the solution? The All Hands on Deck campaign, navigating our seniors through the silver tsunami. Our mission is to make sure that no seniors here in North Augusta ever go hungry. So our thinking is with this campaign to create a reserve fund, a sustainability fund of $1 million. Our hope is that $750,000 comes from Aiken, and the remaining $250,000 would come from donations from North Augusta. The plan is so that no Meals on Wheels are ever cut, and we also want to be able to draw people down from the wait list who are waiting to get onto this program. Next slide. North Augusta Strong. The plan is $250,000. The idea is to move 20 people off the wait list immediately with this funding. And with the North Augusta Congregate Dining over at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church, right now we're doing 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I want to make that 5 days a week. We know that this area is booming and growing. There are seniors who need to have this program, the socialization, the nourishment, and so forth. And then we want to be able to increase the number that we're feeding from 12 people a day to 20. Next slide. This chart is very interesting. This drills down and shows you the percentage of meals that we are serving over here in North Augusta. This is last year's figures. 41% of our service dollars are over here in North Augusta. 47% of our service dollars are over here in North Augusta from a transportation standpoint. You've seen our vehicles, no doubt, going up and down the roads. We're getting people to medical appointments. We're taking them to do shopping. We're getting them where they need to go safely and affordably. Look at the private donations that are coming in, however, from North Augusta. Only 1%. There's a real disparity here in terms of our output and what we're doing here, but the number of donations is not in line. And I believe that's really because we, Aiken Senior Life Services, have not done a good enough job of creating a presence over here in North Augusta and touting our own, blowing our own horn. City government donations, I know this year we were not in the budget, nor were any other nonprofits, but 0% coming in from the city. But with this all hands on deck goal, I believe that we can get North Augusta on board so that they are able to contribute 25% toward this major campaign. Next slide. So just as a quick reprise, the campaign total is $1 million. I am really proud to stand here tonight and tell you that of the Aiken Senior Life Services Board and our All Hands on Deck Capital Campaign Committee members, plus full-time staff at the agency, all of them have submitted pledge cards already. They have already supported financially, and we are now at the $300,000 level. And I just announced this at Rotary today. It was really quite impressive. But I'm here to tell you one other wonderful story. We were front page on the paper on Saturday with this campaign, with our mission, what we're doing, both in Aiken and North Augusta. And because of that, 3 more pledges came in to the total of $200,000. So that brings our total now to $500,000. So we are at we are now at the 50% line. So we have 50% more to go. The campaign runs from today, the kickoff, to January 31st, so 3-month period. And the plan is that these pledges then could be paid over a 5-year period. So I think it's doable, and I think that with the concerted effort of our agency and the community, we can close this gap and we can put our seniors first in terms of importance, because we can't let any senior be forgotten. That is our mission. So that concludes my little talk, and I do have campaign folders, a kind of a reprise of what I just talked about. But I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your listening to our plan.
Couple things. Why don't you tell about the event you have planned? Y'all still
Yes.
planning on that?
Yes. So on the 20th of November, we are going to be at the community center. Thank you so much, Mayor Williams, for reminding me of that. And we're going to be inviting the community to come and hear more details about this campaign. We will be front page article in the Augusta Star next week to alert the community and let them know that. So the plan is for our community to come, hear more about this important campaign and how we're going to be impacting the future for Meals on Wheels here in North Augusta.
I think one thing I really like that I heard is, and this is very powerful, a lot of organizations will use the 5-year commitment pledge, because that, I think, people get their head around that, hey, I can make this pledge and I don't have to put it all tomorrow, but I can commit to it. And you kind of break those bites down to easy steps. So I think that's very positive.
Very doable, I would agree.
But, like we talked about when you had that other meeting, and Dennis, said the same thing, that, and David as well, that for your organization to be so involved in North Augusta, and, I think I want to thank you for making the presence of being present in North Augusta, because it's a vital service. But the reality is North Augusta doesn't even know that it's happening.
That's correct.
And that's as much on y'all as much as it is on us as individuals who have participated that tell the story.
That's right.
So I think you're making the right steps, making the right decisions, and I think you'll be very pleasantly pleased with how everything's going to come out. I think you've already done amazing already.
We're getting there. We're getting there, so.
So we're very appreciative. Any thoughts, Ms. Phelan?
Yeah, question, Ms. Hannah.
Yes.
The $1 million that you're planning on raising, is that treated like an endowment that you're going to use proceeds from, or will we be using that $1 million for your
The
everyday?
plan is to put it, yes, in an interest-bearing account that will grow. And the idea is that we would only pull those funds down if we needed them. So if we find that government funding is ample, we won't be touching them at all. However, if there is a disparity, which we experienced this year, 22,000 meals almost went undelivered, we would be able to pull those funds down and use them to bridge the gap.
Will you consider using those funds before you get to the $1 million level? I mean, if you put $500,000 in.
That's a great question. We are being told there's a 0 chance of receiving federal funds in 2026. No visibility is up ahead. So if we do get into April 1 is when we think that we're going to not have funds. If we get to April 1 and we still have seniors to be fed, we probably would start to draw down those dollars at that point. Great question.
Okay. Thank you very much, you and Bill, for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank
y'all.
you.
Yeah. Okay, it's 5:43, so I've got a few more minutes. Is there anybody in the audience that has anything in particular they would like to share with council? We're going to keep open for a couple more minutes in case somebody walks in. I'm gonna give just one last call for anyone that might have came in. This is the public power hour. Is anybody that has anything they want to share with city council? This is a great time to do it. Before I close out the public power hour, this is your chance. All right, come on down. Well, okay. Yes. For the folks on live stream, this young lady is just asking about wanting more things for seniors. And mentioned that there had been conversation about, what would that look like with vacant buildings? Is that right? One of the things we did do, well, we will with the second vote tonight, so we haven't done it yet, but we are repurposing a responsibility in one of our Parks and Rec folks that will be adding the responsibility to kind of be the person that will tie in marketing all of the events for seniors in the whole community. Because one of the problems that you and I have talked about is we have churches doing things for seniors, right? We've got the city doing things. We have other organizations, just like what Aiken Senior Services talks about. People don't know that's available for seniors, not just food, but for activities, 3 days a week at the Holy Trinity. So our role will be, this person is to put all that together and market it and be the liaison, to be the conduit to everything for seniors in the community. So I think that is a step. It's not where we need to go, but compared to what we've had, it's a step. So I think if we approve the budget, that will be done. So that's positive. So anyway, just want to let you know that. Thank you for sharing. Yes, ma'am. All right, then we're going to close out the public power hour, and we'll be back in just a few minutes to start our city council meeting. Thank y'all. Good evening. I'd like to call the City of North Augusta City Council meeting for November 3rd, 2025 to order. A nice turnout tonight. Good to see everybody. Thank y'all for being here. You are welcome to join me in prayer. Dear God, I ask for your discernment for this council. I ask that we have a servant heart as we do the work of the city. I ask that we are purposeful in our actions, that we listen to our citizens and each other, and that we strive to honor you in our decisions. Amen. If you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. All right, our roll call starting from my left.
John Felak.
Robert Freitas.
Britton Williams.
David Buck. Dennis Briatico.
Thank you. Item 4, approval of minutes. Are there any corrections, deletions, or additions to the regular city council meeting minutes of October the 20th, 2025, or the study session minutes of October the 27th, 2025? Okay, hearing none, they stand approved as distributed. Thank you. We are going to jump right into old business. Item 5, ordinance number 2025-21, adopting a budget for fiscal year 2026 containing estimates of proposed revenues and expenditures by the city of North Augusta, South Carolina for the budget year beginning January 1, 2026, and declaring that same shall constitute the budget of the city of North Augusta for such budget year. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Briatico, thank you. That's Mr. Freitas. That was David Buck. Man, y'all do. Y'all sound very much okay. All right, Mr. Clifford, since 5 through 9 are all falls under that, do you want to just, we'll vote on each, of course, but instead of coming back to you, why don't, if you want to just kind of loop all those in, that'd be fine.
So absolutely. Just as a reminder for council and anybody that's viewing this evening that hasn't seen this previously, the next 5 items, ordinance numbers 2025, 21, all the way through 2025-25, have to do with the annual budget. And so what you have here under the first ordinance, 2025-21, is adopting the budget for the fiscal year, which really concerns the general fund. So that's what most people are concerned with. That has to do with property taxes, business license fees, and other kinds of minor revenues. And then you have item number 6, 2025-22, which is levying the tax on the citizens that pay for the budget that was adopted in 2025-21. Then under ordinance number 2025-23, that's establishing the water service rates for the city over the next calendar year and fiscal year, along with ordinance number 2025-24, which establishes the wastewater charges and fees. And lastly, 2025-25, which is sanitation fees, which is your trash pickup. And so ultimately, the first 2 ordinances have to do with the general fund. The last 3 ordinances have to do with what we call enterprise funds. Those are self-funded entities. So you have an independent water fund, an independent wastewater fund, and an independent sanitation fund. None of those are backstopped with general fund property tax dollars. Those are service taxes, if you will, fee for service, so that if you have a connection to the water system, for example, you're paying a water fee or usage fee for that as opposed to property tax. Property taxes are paying for our staff, largely for our public safety. And people sometimes ask, hey, what do we pay for city taxes versus county taxes? You know, what city residents really pay for is a much higher density of public safety coverage. We have professional firefighters as opposed to volunteer firefighters inside of our city limits, along with a much higher density of police coverage inside the city limits than you have out in the county. And you also have a higher density of parks and rec. So you have more facilities, more park density than you have in the city limits than you have outside the county. So again, those are some of the big cross drivers that we have within the overall budget. And we've talked at length about the mechanics of the budget in 2 previous study sessions along with the public hearing. And so this is y'all's second reading of the budget. If the budget is passed tonight, then we'll go ahead and publish that and start moving forward for initiatives in 2026. And I'll pause for any questions for any of our council members.
I really kind of got to get into this with a fine tooth comb over the past week or so. I just got a couple questions. Page 3940, Riverfront Central Core Fund. It's about 3.4 mil. This fund represents activities of the North Augusta Public Facilities Corporation, a blended component unit. Just so we know, what is a blended component unit and what are the activities?
So I won't give you a technical answer. I'll defer to Linda on that. But as far as the purposes of some of these funds, the primary purpose we have right now is for debt service for our stadium project in Riverside Village. So we definitely want to maintain a fund balance in that fund to be able to deal with the payments we have. And much like a home mortgage, the Riverside Village component that we have has 2 payments a year. So we have one that is straight up principal and interest, and the other one is strictly the interest principal. Interest, thank you. And so we have those 2 payments that we make every calendar year, and we'll do so over the course of the debt financing that we have. And then we have other funds that go into the Riverfront Central Core and other things we can fund out of the Riverfront Central Core. So, for example, some of the recent initiatives that we took with, or you took as the council, as the Bollard project down inside Riverside Village, that was paid for through those funds. And then what I would anticipate as we move into a better parking posture of having an updated parking software or parking apparatuses associated with either street parking or deck parking or both would be funded out of those funds. So much like other funds, they have stated purposes. And so, for example, I wouldn't recommend, or I don't believe we're allowed to use those funds to buy, say, a fire truck, unless it was going to specifically sit in Riverside Village and service just that district, which is not economical for us. So the prime reason is for debt service and for development of the Riverside Village complex and anything within the map boundaries associated with Riverside Village. Linda said I got pretty close on that.
And for the Riverfront Central Core Fund, where do those funds come from?
They come from a variety of sources. Actually, there's a slide, which you don't have up here, but when Linda gives her quarterly updates, that lays out pretty cleanly what the fund lines are. And so a very big picture, you have TIF revenues, so the revenues associated with certain properties within the TIF district go a long way towards funding that. You also have revenues associated with parking, with stadium licensing fee, with parking fees. You've got a number of different feeders, if you will, into that fund, and that's purposes to, again, pay for debt service and pay for improvements to the village.
And accommodations, hospitality goes in there too.
And a combination of hospitality and accommodations tax.
That's a big part of it.
Yep, of which, sometimes people ask, hey, why can't you show exactly what on the hospitality side of the house is? But we also can't fully pull out the Crown Plaza tax, receipts, because that shows what the revenues are, which they don't necessarily want to have released.
Thank you. Okay. Any citizen comments? Okay. Any council discussion that we haven't already discussed? Okay. Hearing none, I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Okay, item 6, ordinance number 2025-22, levying the annual tax on property in the city of North Augusta, South Carolina for the fiscal year beginning January 1, 2026, and ending December 31, 2026. Do you have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
So moved.
Because I can see your lips move.
He said it. Dennis, he said it.
All right, Mr. Braddock.
Yeah, I'll second.
Mr. Buck, okay. You guys falling asleep over on my left side now.
I said.
I hear you. All right, Mr. Cliff has already shared. Any citizen comments on this one? Any council discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor, thank you. Unanimous. Item 7, ordinance number 2025-23, establishing water service charges by revising section 14-25 titled Water Rate Schedule, generally of the city code of the city of North Augusta, South Carolina. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
All right, Mr. Feelock, you don't have your thing on, that's why I couldn't hear you. Is there a second? All right, Mr. Freitas. I'll speak in the mic. All right, any citizen comments on this one? Okay, any council discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Item 8, ordinance number 2025-24, establishing wastewater service charges by revising section 14-68 titled Schedule of Monthly Wastewater Service Charge of the City Code of the City of North Augusta, South Carolina. Do we have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
So moved.
That's Mr. Freitas. I know that voice. Second? All right, Mr. Buck, thank you. Any citizen comments? Any council discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor is unanimous. Thank you. Finally, ordinance number 2025-25, amending Article 4, Section 14-123, titled Sanitation Service Fees of the City Code, the City of North Augusta, South Carolina. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Butts.
Second.
Mr. Bradico, thank you. Any citizen comments on this one? Council discussion? I'll ask for a vote. All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. All right. Item 10, administration ordinance number 2025-26, designating a high enforcement tollway zone in Riverside Village. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
So moved.
Mr. Buck, thank you. Second?
Second.
All right, Ms. Bradico, appreciate it. All right, Ms. Clifford, you want to update on this one?
Mr. Mayor and council, again, it's something that was discussed in previous study session, but just as a general reminder, if this is passed this evening, you will not see tow trucks in Riverside Village immediately tomorrow morning, yanking folks out of there. There's going to have to be a graduated aspect of this to include signage, which has not yet been procured or posted. So that is a requirement, at least in my mind, before we'd ever start implementing our towing. I think we would look at trying to have full implementation starting in the first quarter of 2026 would be a reasonable assumption, along with some warnings to folks as we go. And again, some of these problems are going to solve themselves in that when the Bollard project is ongoing, that's going to clean up probably about 80% of our illegal parking as it is, just through separating pedestrian and vehicular traffic, although it will leave some of the yellow painted curbs and the middle island, if you will, between the Crown Plaza and the rest of the retail establishments as a potential enforcement zone. So again, this would allow us to have that as an option to move forward, but I would not look at an implementation until early next year.
Very good. Any citizen comments? Council discussion.
Just one quick thing. So does this have to go out for bid, or is it going to be on the same rotation that we already voted on?
So, Councilman, this has to be a separate item. The reason it would not go on the current schedule is because that's a rotational schedule, and that would be super confusing for our citizens to know that, okay, in week 1, it's this tow company, in week 2, it's this tow company. So we really want to just have a one-stop, hey, there's a sign, it's got this tow company on there. If your car's not here, call them first before you call public safety and see if they have possession of your vehicle.
Great. Thanks.
And yes, that would have to be through a bid process. We're not going to go out there and handpick a tow truck company. It's going to go through the normal procurement process we have.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay.
Just real brief, has there been any feedback from the local business owners down there?
I think we have had some feedback from local businesses about parking in general. And so ultimately, some of a good chunk of our current offenders tend to be people that work in the businesses that are there inside Riverside Village. So I wouldn't say they're going to be super stoked about the Bollard project or about the towing enforcement. But as our assistant city administrator has gone through and heard from various businesses about the availability of parking, he'll immediately walk over to the deck and find like 70% unencumbered spaces. And so ultimately, we don't have a parking problem; we have a walking problem, at least with some of the employees that are down there. So that's kind of what we're seeing today. So I'm not saying this is going to be the most popular of moves. I'm just telling you that there's still adequate parking in the deck apparatus that we have there now.
Yeah. And I think one thing JD is doing is been trying to put together a group similar to the Downtown Merchants Alliance, so that all the businesses down there are meeting, so they can kind of like, I mean, even the HOAs at Hammond's Ferry, so there are no surprises, which is good, which is needed, quite frankly. So anyway, that's a good question.
And Chief, would you view this as, with everything being so narrow down there, as an issue of public safety to do this?
Yes, sir, because sometimes they block the roadway so people can't get through there, and we need to keep it opened up so that anybody can get through there for emergency or just general access.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other council discussion on this? Okay, I'm gonna ask for a vote. All in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Okay, item 11, ordinance number 2025-27, revoking section 10-2 of the current code of laws for the city of North Augusta and replacing such section in its entirety. Specifically, the amendment will change the general election date for the city to correspond to the federal general election date. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on second reading?
I'll move.
All right, Mr.
Second.
Pettis, thank you. Okay, Mr. Briatico, thank you. Anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Mr. Mayor, I think this ordinance is self-evident. This moves us off the May election cycle into a November election cycle. In an even year, it has equal impact on all council members. Everybody's council seat would be impacted by 6 months, as far as having a 3.5-year term instead of a 4-year term for a full-term council member. There are exceptions to that, obviously, but that's the recommendation we got from our city attorney, and also went out to get some additional information from the AG's office here in the state of South Carolina. And so we don't see anything that would prevent us from moving to this cycle. And this is based on a demand signal we received from city council to propose an ordinance to do this very thing.
Okay, very good. Any citizen comments? Any council discussion? Yeah.
Again, I do think this is the right thing to do to give as many people the chance to vote as possible. I've been that hourly employee that's worked in Augusta or Evans and had to go to my employer and be like, hey, we're having elections today. I got to leave, just to make sure I get there before 7 o'clock to vote. But I want to point out the numbers one more time. The last presidential election, 75% of all South Carolinians voted a straight party ticket. 60% of those votes for Republican Party. This year we have 77,000 open seats across America that are voted as nonpartisan. Nobody's asking you to disown your first child. You could still signal your party or whatever, but it's something I want y'all to think about because I had a tremendous amount of positive feedback to my comments on it earlier. I think it gives a platform where we're not really going to be voting on national issues from the city council seat for us to. I had my first 10. My platform was out there before I even decided what party I was going to run. I looked at running as an independent. Ultimately, I went to the Democratic Party, and they agreed not to change my message, so I went with that. But it's just something I want y'all to keep in the back of your mind.
I think this is a win-win. There's no doubt about it. All right, any other council discussion? All right, I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor? That is unanimous. Very good. Ms. Carpenter's not here. She always likes to say this when we have a lot of visitors, and let me just reiterate this to everybody. I know if this first time or you haven't been here very often, you kind of hear us kind of going through real quick. So just so you know, what we do is our first and third meetings, Mondays of the month, are our city council meetings. Our second and fourth Mondays are study sessions. So basically, everything we talk about or vote on tonight, we have actually had a study session the prior Monday. So that's really where you're going to hear a lot more questioning from council. You often will have a director or in the study session, a focused topic. Everything we've done tonight so far in second reading were focused topics in a study session. So, and then we vote on two ordinances. So if you ever really want to not just hear us go through as when we agree unanimously on things, the study sessions are ideal, and we live stream those. So I just want to let y'all know, we didn't just walk in today and say, oh, I think we're all going to vote. We've had a lot of study sessions, and all these have been going on for well over a month, quite frankly. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with everybody. Now we're moving into new business. Item 12, planning and development. Ordinance number 2025-28 to change the corporate limits of the city of North Augusta by accepting the petition requesting annexation by the landowners and annexing plus or minus 67.45 acres of property located on Hammond Pond Road and owned by William F. Hammond. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance on first reading?
Motion.
All right, so Mr. Felike, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Freitas, thank you. All right, you want to update us on this, Mr. Clifford?
So, Mr. Mayor and Council, this is regarding a development that is proposed at the end of Hammond's Pond Road. I would tell you that this is one of the donut holes of the city. So you can see through our kind of borders, there's some areas there, but this one's clearly surrounded by the entire city of North Augusta, and you've got this one kind of hole there that's in the county, not in the city. And what is proposed is R14 zoning, which is large lot, single-family home, so it's less of an impact on our utilities. And so that's beneficial. I know sometimes when you have a R5 or an R7 designated neighborhood, you're going to have a higher impact on utilities and also on public safety, just based on the overall density. So this is one that the staff and the Planning Commission felt was easy to absorb, does not have a appreciable change on our overall utility system. And so based on the Planning Commission's recommendation, the staff has brought this to you for your consideration for annexation into the city of North Augusta.
And I'm pretty sure, because there's been some conversation about this, this does not impact anything to do with sewer capacity. We have that already on the books, and this is not any issue at all.
That's correct, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Okay. All right. Are there any questions for Ms. Clifford? All right. Any citizen comments? Okay. Any council discussion? All right. Hearing none, I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor? That is 3-2. All right, item 13, administration, ordinance number 2025-29, authorizing the city of North Augusta to grant a non-exclusive franchise agreement with Loomis Fiber of South Carolina LLC. Do you have a motion to approve this ordinance on first reading?
So moved.
Mr. Buck, is there a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Briatica. Anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
So, Mr. Mayor and Council, there's a lot of kind of legalese inside this document, but I would just tell you philosophically, myself and the staff are positively predisposed to this, mostly because it gives additional competition in the marketplace. And so by allowing additional telecommunications providers, Lumos in this particular case, allows our citizens to have the greatest range of options and greater connectivity. Some neighborhoods have more limited connectivity than others. I wouldn't say anybody's running off a modem or anything like that, but certain fiber connectivities have better connections than others as far as the overall throughput speed. So adding another provider to at least some of the city, I think, is a net benefit to the citizens. And so our staff position is more competition is better than less. And so that's why you have this franchise agreement here in front of you for your consideration. That's why it says non-exclusive franchise agreement, meaning there could be other competitors in that space.
Basically, this is representing T-Mobile.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Yep. Very good. All right. Any questions for Mr. Clifford?
Yes, Mr. Clifford, the installation of these new lines will be brand new. They're not going to go into any other existing conduit that's there. They will go into existing conduit. They will not, so it'll all be new. Okay. I do know I live on a corner lot, and I know when the other ones came in, I had 9 holes put in my yard. a lot of them. They filled back in, but there were a lot of holes, a lot of digging. I think, yeah. Yeah, they did. Corner lots are particularly susceptible to this, these kind of improvements. But overall, I agree with you. I think the competition is very good.
And we have all his information, so we have a contact person. Very important.
Way in the back.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. All right, are there any citizen comments? All right, any other council discussion? Yeah, all right, I'm gonna ask for a vote. All in favor? It's unanimous, thank you. All right. Item 14, Planning and Development, Resolution Number 2025-35, is accepting a deed of dedication for the street, sanitary sewer, stormwater collection, and fire suppression systems and associated easements and right-of-way, along with a maintenance guarantee and letter of credit for Forest Bluff, Section 2. We have a motion to approve this resolution.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr.
Second.
Buck. All right, second, Mr. Freitas, thank you. Anything you'd like to share about this, Mr. Clifford?
Mr. Mayor and Council, this is a routine action. A deed of dedication is associated with new neighborhoods or new infrastructure associated with such neighborhoods, and a lot of other cities and counties. This would be part of what they call a consent agenda because it is a routine item. In this particular case, this has to do with the infrastructure associated with Forest Bluff, which is the new portion of the Knollwood subdivision. I know when we went through the Joint Planning Commission City Council trolley ride, it was one of the neighborhoods we looked at that was terraced. It had a phase 1 and a phase 2. And so this is the phase 2 section that we have received the deed of dedication for.
Very good. Any citizen comments? Council discussion?
Mr. Clifford, will that complete that particular development?
I believe it does, Councilman.
Not any other discussion. I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. And item 15 is similar. Resolution number 2025-36, accepting a deed of dedication for the street, sanitary sewer, stormwater collection, fire suppression systems, detention pond, and associated easements and rights of way, along with a maintenance guarantee and letter of credit for Martintown Ridge. Do you have a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll move.
All right, Mr. Freitas, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Buck. And Ms. Clifford, I'm assuming this is same except a different neighborhood.
Same rules apply, different neighborhood, different county. This is an Edgefield County
Yep.
Neighborhood, so this is at the very edge of our city limits on Martintown Road. So if you transited Martintown Road here from downtown all the way up through Interstate 20, past Interstate 20, and went further up to the very edge, so after you pass Gregory Lake Road on the right-hand side, there you'll see where the lots are associated with Martintown Ridge.
Okay, very good. Are there any citizen comments? Council discussion? All right, here none, I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor? That's unanimous. Very good. Okay, item 16, let me tell you about this. So I'm really excited about this appointment. Randy Parks is, Randy, if you would just stand up so I can see you. Hey, Randy. So Randy's born and raised in North Augusta, graduated from North Augusta High School, business degree, major, graduated from the University of Georgia, 44-year career in medical representative. You might see him if you've ever been to a funeral at Posey Funeral Home. He works part-time there. Randy's been on a lot of different boards of directors of a lot of different nonprofits in the community. Randy's one of these gentlemen. I've known Randy for a long time through church, but I've wanted to get him involved. This council has put about over 23 first-time people are served over the last 4 years through different appointments. And Randy was one of those where, where does he want to go, what fits his schedule, the way it can do it. And unfortunately, we had put Carlton Vaughn, who has been serving on the Municipal Election Committee. He had just got reappointed for a 6-year term, and he unfortunately passed away last year. We did not rush to fill that because wanted to get the right person. And when we reached out to Randy, the timing was perfect for him. He knows Ben Watson, who's a chairman of our municipal election. So we will have Ben Watson, we'll have Randy and Althea Dunbar. So I think with all the things we're doing with the change in elections, that municipal election under Jamie Paul, our city clerk, they've got a lot of work ahead of them. So that's why we wanted to get Randy up to speed quickly, moving in the next year. So I'm really excited about Randy. I think he's smart, he's a critical thinker, and he will add a lot to the table. He's very mindful of when he does something, he's very focused, and that is definitely an area that we need people focused for a short period of time. So I'd like to ask for a motion to appoint Randy Parks to the Municipal Election Commission to fill the term of Carlton Vaughn till 2030. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Buck, is there a second?
Second.
All right, that was Mr. Phelan?
Yes, sir.
All right, all in favor? That's unanimous. Mr. Parks, welcome to the party, sir. Nice to have you on board with us. Thank you very much. Really excited about that. Okay, I got a couple more things to talk about, but before that, we've got two other items. Administrative reports. Anything on your end?
Nothing to report, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, all right. Item 18, presentations, communication, recognition of visitors. This is a two-part. Before I get the council comments and my comments, this is a citizen comment. So we just had the public power hour, but this is a time the citizens can still speak to mayor and council on anything not on this agenda tonight. So is there anybody that might have come in and missed the public power hour or has something they would like to share with us? This is your opportunity to speak to us. Yes, sir. Can you come on down? And I'm going to ask if you would just talk into that microphone and state your name and address for the record, and then go for it.
Richard Keener,
Yes, sir.
321 St. Julian Place, North Augusta.
Thank you, Mr. Keener.
Based on some of the information that has been passed through the city over the last couple of weeks, if either this evening or sometimes in the near future, you would explain to the citizenry the plans for the animal shelter. Somebody was appointed, some statements were published, not clearly understood, but I think there needs to be a little more clarification on that subject.
Okay. I will, so I've been given updates pretty regularly, but let me, I'll go ahead and do that now. So basically, there were three initiatives. You can sit down if you want. Yes, sir. Three initiatives. The first one was we asked Tyler from FONA to sit down with Captain Hayes at Public Safety, and they met last Thursday, the 28th, I believe, to come up with three projects that they would agree on, and then our council would fund those improvements to the current animal shelter. So I don't have an update of how that meeting went yet, but that's item one. The second item was the budget we just passed. We put in for a position for our animal shelter. This will not be a public safety officer. This will be a budgeted like a code enforcement salary, but this person will be at our animal shelter full time, and that will be their responsibility to work with the volunteers, to be able to be there when Officer McBride is out picking up animals or whatever outside the shelter. That way it's going to give volunteers an opportunity to be there with a presence. So I think Dennis has made a comment publicly from this dais that, he didn't think he'd ever see the time where we'd actually get a second animal person. So I think that's positive. So that's official. Now, that will begin in July of 2026, okay? That's what's called a midterm hire. And the third thing is that what was being asked for going back to 2019 was a committee. And at the study session last week, I talked about that. And we have asked folks to be on that committee. And that committee is comprised of Captain Hayes from our public safety. It comprised from Robert Freitas, who's our city council. Those two gentlemen are liaisons to be a resource for this committee when it comes to the city, to give that perspective to the committee. I'm very excited. A local veterinarian, Laura Santos, her office is right down there on Clifton, has agreed to be on that committee. I think it's very exciting. A lot of people didn't think we could get a veterinarian, and we've got one who was so excited. We also have Tabitha Waldrop, who will represent FONA. Tabitha is a project engineer and project management engineer, so she is very intelligent and knows how to look at things. So I think she is very excited about that. Don Porter, who is sitting right on the row 3 there, cannot be more excited about her. She has had a lot of experience in Charleston County with their animal shelter. So again, she has a CPA background. So then you've got another, again, it's not passion that we've been lacking. What we've needed is a structure of folks who can objectively plan short-term, long-term, get community support all together and work with our nonprofits like FONA to make all this happen. So am I correct? I didn't leave anybody out, did I? That's 6. That's everybody, I think. So anyway, that those folks have been asked. Tabitha Waldrop is spearheading the meeting, getting that group together. So they do not report to city council. This is not a part of our city council. It's not a part of our city. This is a separate group. They have autonomy to do what they feel is best. And what we are asked for is to have a liaison, which we have with Robert and Captain Hayes. So anyway, that's kind of where we are with animal shelter. So
I will
hopefully-
say tentatively, the committee is scheduled to meet on Thursday for our first meeting.
Great.
So
Very good. Very
things
good.
are moving.
So, Ms. Aquino, that's what I know, what's been done. So hopefully that answers your question.
I know that Tyler has met with Captain Hayes, and
Yeah.
the 3 choices that they made are good choices because what we got to realize is, even if we came up with a plan for a new shelter tomorrow, we still have to get the current animal facility workable.
Yep.
And those 3 projects are huge steps in making that facility more humane. I will say the one thing that I think that I'm kind of hoping that we can come up with privately, or if anybody's got an old metal utility shed somewhere that they can donate that we could use as a puppy pod, that would be great.
All right, great. All right. So that's kind of where we are on that. So anyway, hopefully I've answered at the best of my ability. Get with me afterwards if you have any more questions beyond that. All right, okay, so any other citizen comments about that? Okay. I am so excited about this group that we're going to be talking about. So I did not realize that when we started a podcast that the podcast objective was really another way to communicate with citizens. It was a way for us to educate citizens about different things in the city. And one of the podcasts that we had was Brick Pond Park. And we had 3 folks. We had Tanya Strickland, Tanya used to be over our storm water. She's retired now. We had Miss Janice Krause, who I call the Bluebird Lady. If you've ever seen the Bluebird boxes, she and her volunteers have done that. That's kind of been one of their passions. And then Miss Sandy Zanko, who I kid Sandy, she's been probably never had the title, but she's Miss Brick Pond. But anyway, when we finished that podcast, it just was like a ton of bricks hit us. Sandy didn't know Janice, Janice didn't know Sandy. So you had two passionate people on the Brick Pond, and there was no communication. No one knew everything. So what we realized was, let's get this passionate group together. Let's put some structure, give them some structure, so they are now part of the Beautification Foundation. And I'll talk about them in a second. But this group with Tanya Strickland, with Sandy Zanko as the chair. Stand up, Sandy, if you would. I know she's shy, but stand up. Okay, thank you. Tanya Strickland is the co-chair. Stand up, Ms. Tanya. I don't see Janice. Am I missing her? She couldn't make it. And then Michaela Kennedy, who is over our stormwater now, is the liaison. But they've already got 4 or 5 other folks who are going to join that group. But what's exciting about this is, I don't know if Brian told you, they've already had a unanimous, thank you, anonymous, I knew I could say it, donor who has already made a check to the Brick Pond Committee. I will tell you, I talked to a senior citizen recently who, when January gets, she's required to take money out of her IRA, and if you have an RMD called Required Minimum Distribution, you can donate that to charities and not pay tax, and she's excited about making a donation to the Brick Pond. So now we've got a passionate group of people. There's a structure there. There's going to be funding there that they can go out and raise more money, and they've got a list of projects. I'm so excited. They have got a Facebook page, but they have already put their mission statement, what we do, how to get involved. So you're going to see some incredible things coming from the Brick Pond, because the Brick Ponds are an asset for this community. And what I would tell you is, if you have not listened to the Brick Pond podcast, please do. Tanya does an incredible job talking about the history of those ponds. And for anyone who thinks that the city doesn't care about those ponds and riverfront development is killing the Brick Ponds, if it wasn't for that initial Hammond's Ferry conversation, the city did not come in the table. Those ponds sat there 50 years with no oxygen. It was dead. And because of the city's commitment, along with the Hammond's Ferry initial development there, those ponds are now a huge ecological system. They're wetlands. They're incredible species. Yes, there have probably been some species, Sandy will tell you, that we haven't seen recently, probably because of maybe something happening currently with the construction. But but if you want to know the history of that Brick Pond Park, please listen to the podcast. Tanya does an incredible job. But I'm excited because now you have a group of passionate people who can get the word out in this community, and now they are partnering with the city, and we're not against each other. We're working toward the betterment of the Brick Pond. So, ladies, thank you all for your service. Really excited about what y'all are going to do. And the Beautification Foundation, there's a ton of folks here. Brian and Cheryl Winzik are active in the Beautification Foundation. This is one of the foundations, along with the Public Safety Foundation, that council formed. They have been off and running. They have raised a lot of money, and they've got an event coming up this Saturday, the Wine Walk. So it's going to be incredible down there at the amphitheater. So if you haven't got tickets, I would reach out to go on Facebook and look at the Beautification Foundation. But having the Brick Pond Group Committee under the Beautification Foundation is going to really work very well. So Cheryl, for you and Brian and all your folks who you have brought in a lot of excited people for the Beautification Foundation, it could not be working better. The same thing with Public Safety Foundation. These foundations are led by citizens, not the city. They have their own nonprofit 501c3, but they are raising money. They are empowered to make their community better that we live in. And it is so, so exciting to see what they're doing. So I just commend all of y'all for that. Last thing for me, before I ask council if they have anything they want to share, I want to throw some kudos out to our city administrator, Jim Clifford. He has been awarded the ICMA Credential Manager designation. That's the International City and County Management Association. This is accreditation based off his professional experience, education. This is a continuous learning. And I think when you have a city administrator that not only follows a code of ethics, but also like his directors and so many people that we talk about from this dais, our teammates, our employees for the city are always learning, striving to get better and learn more things. And it's no different. It starts from the top with our city administrator. So Jim Clifford, congratulations for that designation. Well done, sir. Proud of you and appreciate what you're doing. So with that, that's all I've got. I'll go around the horn. Anything real quick for the good of the order? Everybody good?
Yep, I got one thing.
Yes, sir.
Friday night, North Augusta High School football is in the first round of the playoffs.
Oh, is this
7:30 this Friday?
Who they-
So,
do we-
we're playing Midland Valley.
Here?
So
At North Augusta?
7:30 at home. So this Friday.
Miller Valley made it. Wow.
Yep. So y'all please come out support them.
Good.
Just real quick question, maybe
Yeah.
either one of y'all can answer. Now that they've got those 3 items picked out for the shelter, do we know kind of a timeline, how long that will take to get before us? Maybe that can help prevent future questions.
Councilman, I would say we still have to look at the engineering of some of those and get some of the cost factors together. Depending on the items that we're talking about, they may have to go out for a 3-bid kind of look. So if we have the ability to handle that if it really comes down to the cost of the project. If the cost of the project is below a certain dollar threshold, we can probably work that into this year's budget that I can do under my authorities as administrator. If it gets beyond a certain threshold, I'll have to be required to bring it to council for funding out of the capital projects fund.
And we'll have that ready to share at the next study session next Monday. Yep. Very good. I just didn't get a chance to talk to them personally beforehand. And I talked to Jim. Okay. Great to see everybody. Thank y'all for being here. Hope to see you again. And we stand adjourned.